Okay. Those were a bunch of technical trading ideas from our experts. Let's also get in a few fundamental ideas from Mayuresh, Joshi and Mr. S.P. Tulsian. Mayuresh, let me start with you. Yesterday, those reverse gas pooling auctions were conducted. We heard Torrent Power saying that, they did not participate in the third round because the prices were so high and perhaps it might just be cheaper to acquire gas at the spot price. So in that context, how would you rate the winners, the likes of a GMR, GVK, NTPC and Lanco?
Morning, I think once you're looking at the policy coming through, you're expected to see how the international pricing also moves in that direction. So clearly, I think if you're looking at spot prices when it comes to fuels and alternate fuels as well, they're probably trading at lower levels. So I think the companies probably are looking at spot prices at the current levels, which are a cheaper option to them at this point of time. When it comes to probably stocks within this space, Power Grid and NTPC is something that we've liked in the past. We continue liking them. NTPC particularly, I think the kind of power that it has got of 45,500 odd megawatts, it expects to add another 23,500 odd megawatts over the next few years. The capital expenditure that is expected in this fiscal is close to 31,500 odd crores, which basically means that the regulated equity will go up by 45% by FY17, 75% by FY18. So the regulated model, which shows it a fixed ROE, I think this is the regulated model that we probably like. The SEB is going to restructuring that probably gives them greater amount of demand dynamics. So the SEB's balance sheet probably strengthened, the losses on the T&T part come down, the operational efficiencies improve. So NTPC is something that we continue to like within the space itself. Okay,
so that really would be unrelated to the fact that they have bought this gas for about 7.2 to 7.5 MMBTU. Mr. Tulsian, what's your take on this development? Torrent actually saying that they might as well buy from the market.
See, Lata, I think they are wise, and in fact, that is what I have been, cautioning. If you recall,
is it because you are on the coast and then
no. First take the cost dynamics, because that is what, if you recall, in fact, I have been saying that this is all negative when the Petronet LNG settled the rate of $7.5, and when oil minister said that we will be saying 5,000-7,000 crore, I said at that point of time also that I won't be surprised to see the gas prices falling to as low as $5, because let's not forget that 2016 we are going to see the Australia coming in for supply, not adding US. Probably US can, we can see the accelerated production coming in from 2017. And believe me, maybe Petronet LNG, we have to renegotiate with Qatar also. I don't know how far. And that is the reason that means Qatar also have agreed to slash the prices, because they know that you can't store the gas if they, it has to get, vented out in the air. So if you just come now also, I've given the formula also that 6 MMBTU is equal to 1 barrel of crude oil. That means if I'm talking of $7 per MMBTU and 6 means $42, and then you add the taxes and all that, and if you are going to get the crude at $42 on a calorific value, I don't see any reason. And that is why if you recall when this deep sea exploration policies of pricing and the marketing liberalization have been announced by the government, on that day you have not seen any shares moving up, whether the Reliance Industries and all that, because it is not giving any temptation. Forget ONGC. ONGC is a government company, they will be adhering to the announcements made by the government, and it is not their personal money, the chairmans, and this will keep on coming and going. And maybe in the national interest for the self-sufficiency, you need to have the gas at your command. So, but the situation, take the case of Torrent Power. They don't have everything, under a PPA. They are an integrated player. They have their own distribution and marketing also. They directly, distribute in the cities of Surat, Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, and all those. They have to compete. There is no PPA. If I am buying the gas at a higher price, there must be a pass-through in the form of the PPA and agreement. So believe me, I am not happy at all, and I won't be surprised to see the prices falling to and rightly so, under the reverse bidding process. Nobody has shown interest. Now come on the other gas producers like GVK, GMR and all sort of things. If they have PPA or maybe Lanco or maybe any other, there are many, they are all stranded for want of, and there is no what you call migration. They can't operate. There are multi-fuel also in some of these projects. projects, but they have to compulsorily operate on gas, and we all know the fixed cost involved in the gas. Though the gas power project, in fact, what all these companies did, they have gone for gas-based power generation project where the capital cost was lower at about 3.5 to 4 crore per megawatt against thermal of 5.5 crore, without realizing that you have to only remain confined to gas as a feedstock only. So for them that's a different case, because their capital cost is lower by 1.5 crore, and if they have a pass-through in the form of PPA, I think they will be able to do that. So because Torrent Power, as I said, is an integrated independent company, and they take all the decisions on a commercial basis. Forget as a coastal company and all that, where they have the LNG facilities available and all that, but even otherwise, I don't think that the economics works out when the crude is ruling at sub $40.
Okay, we'll discuss the other stocks in greater detail. For now, it's time for a very short break. When we return, we'll also have the pre-opening rates with us. Expected to be a fairly quiet start given the flat moves that we're seeing across the Asian markets.
Welcome back. We have Mr. Isaac George, the Director and CFO at GVK Power and Infrastructure, joining us on the phone line from Hyderabad. Thank you very much, Mr. George, for joining us. It's just that the market's pre-opening rates have come in, and we'll just get the pre-opening rates up for you.
Absolutely flat. The Nifty is down 1 point in pre-opening, while the Sensex is up less than 0.1%. So absolutely flat. So that SGX Nifty gap up of about 15-20 points is not really playing out in pre-opening. But again, it's too early to tell. We've got the early rates in the rupee. So the rupee has opened at 67.33. So it's appreciated by about 4 to 5 paise against the dollar. So the rupee was weakened against the dollar in the last 2 trading sessions, and today it's opened up marginally stronger. Still awaiting the updated rate on the bond markets. But let's get in our other experts. Chandan Dapare of Anand Rathi Securities is also here with us. Hi Chandan, after the big 1% fall yesterday, what would be the trade in the Nifty?
Good morning. Yesterday we have seen a decline of around 1% in the Nifty, but Bank Nifty was up by 0.3%, which clearly indicates that buying is being witnessed in the Bank Nifty, but because of some heavyweights, Nifty is falling down from higher levels. If I look at the derivatives database, sustained cold writing at 7500 strike is keeping the upside limited. If you look at the entire calculation of the retracement, 7539 to 7550 is multiple supply area. So till market doesn't cross and hold that zone, the momentum may remain range bound. amount. Now for the intraday trading, if Nifty fails to hold the immediate support of 7447, then this momentum may fizzle out and selling may intact towards next multiple support of 7400 zone. So those who are looking for intraday trading, if sustains below 7447, then can get the opportunity to trade towards 7400 zone. But the medium term trend still may remain range bound, as we have seen strong recovery in last couple of trading sessions. So one has to look at the important level of 7447 and 7539 to 7550 zone for the fresh leg of rally.
Okay. Well, let me come to some of your stocks. Your buys on the Nifty are SBI and JSW.
Yes, as we discussed that Bank Nifty is continuously performing from last couple of trading session. In last 2 weeks, Bank Nifty moved by around 10 to 12% compared to the Nifty movement of around 7%. We have seen strong recovery, and that was led by short covering momentum. In banking stocks, selective PSU and the private banks are holding the gains, especially talking about the SBI. It is now finding multiple support near to 178 to 180 zone, and interestingly, the stock which is trading near to 185 level has been witnessing put writing at 180, 185 and 190 strike, which indicates the stock has potential to head towards 190 level. So I am suggesting to trade the future, or the conservative trader can trade with 185 call around 6 rupees, keep the stop loss of 3.5 and expecting this call to move towards 10 to 11 rupees. Talking about the second trade, that is from the metal space. If I look at the entire theme of the day, that would be the banks, metals and selective cement counter. Talking about JSW Steel, the stock is clearly outperforming the entire metal space. It is heading towards new 52 weeks high level, holding the gains with built up of long position. On last trading session, we have seen some short covering, which may again accelerate the positive momentum on the higher side. Better to trade with 1200 call, keep the stop loss of 18 and expecting this call to head towards 48 rupees. On stock wise, I am expecting it to head towards 1225 to 1230 zone.
Okay, so those are two calls. Chandan, yesterday, Idea's stock price, at least at the spot rate, dropped below 100 rupees. You see more downside?
Yes, the stock is continuously falling down. We have seen some recovery in Bharti Airtel, but Idea is not ready to recover. In fact, huge shorts are intact in the counter with sustained call writing. It is now set to break. It has also broken the multiple strong support of 100 zone and holding below same 96 to 94 level. So one can here trade on the negative bias. Better to be with 100 put, keep the stop loss of 2.25 and expect this put to head towards 7 rupees.
All right, hold on to that thought, Chandan. We'll get in some more trading ideas from our Super 6 guys. All right, those were some trading strategies. Market settling in very, very flat. The pre-opening indicates that it's just about about 3 points down for the Nifty. Among the stocks, Kane is taking a knock. Bajaj Auto as well has been reading. HDFC continues to see selling. And among the gainers is Bank of Baroda, the one that paid a fairly handsome fourth quarter advance tax. It could be that. It could be, of course, the positive sentiment that's anyway prevailing for the PSU banking stocks for some time now. But we will just revisit the stocks in a bit. Let me go back to Chandan and just get a couple of more trading strategies from you, Chandan. A couple of stocks in the mid-cap space. You have a sell on Apollo and a buy on India Cements.
Yes, first talking about Apollo Hospital, yesterday stock fell down sharply by adding the open interest by more than 8 to 10%. It has also broken the multiple support of 1380 zone, and now that level is likely to act as a major hurdle. So weakness may continue in the counter. We have also seen a strong decline in most of the pharma counters, so negative sentiment may continue to carry the stock on the lower side. Recommending to sell on any bounce back move with keeping a stop loss of 1380 and expecting it to go down towards 1300 levels. Talking about the other mid-cap ideas, I'm expecting some selective cement counter to perform, especially talking about India Cement. The stock has taken multiple support near to 64 zone on the last week and now has been consolidating with a positive price. The support is clearly shifting on the higher side near to 74, so expecting it to move on 82, 83 kind of level. So traders can buy with a stop loss of 74.5 levels.
Okay, that leaves just about 40 seconds for the market opening. So let's concentrate on that. It looks like the mid caps may be a tad better, but not a whole lot better. Today the Bank Nifty also is a little bit in the red compared to previous occasions. It's not exactly outperforming, but these are of course pre-market and pre-bid. These are just bid levels. They are not traded levels. The market is looking extremely flat at this point in time. Just waiting by for the opening tick. it appears that the oil-related stocks are going to take a beating. ICICI Bank also is starting with a little bit of negative. In fact, all the private sector banks are starting a little bit on the back foot at the pre-opening bids. Okay, there goes the bell, and the Nifty starting mildly lower, 2 points lower, 7459 as we speak. So as flat as the pre-opening indicated. Sensex as well, just down about 20 points. That's where we are. Let's look at the gainers. BHEL actually of all stocks is the one that's gaining. Lupin is the other one. Bank of Baroda starting with a 0.8 uptick. ITC 0.8 uptick. BPCL is about 0.7, 0.8 better. Bosch up about 0.5%. L&T as well. IndusInd Bank has now moved into the green. It was in the red in pre-opening trades. What else do we have in the green? ACC, Punjab National Bank, Ambuja Cement, M&M, Idea Cellular, Infosys, all mildly in the green. Not a whole lot among the big stocks. It's only BHEL which is continuing to gain, up about 1.5%, and GAIL as well, up about 1%. In the red are Dr. Reddy's, down about 1.25%, Bajaj Auto down 1.25%, HDFC 1.25%, Hindalco, Vedanta. So the metal stocks are all down today. Asian Paints is down about 1%. Tata Motors, TCS, among other stocks also down. SBI is down just about 0.6. Actually, pre-opening it was mildly in the green, but now seeing a little bit of red. Bank Nifty now is actually doing a little better. The Sensex has moved down 0.25%. Okay, now 0.2 down. But Bank Nifty is flat. So largely supported, I would think, by HDFC Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, several private sector banks in the green. Mid caps
absolutely flat for the mid-cap index. The advanced decline ratio just to start trade in the first 10-15 minutes is in favor of the gaining side. Talking about a few winners, sugar is fairly active today. So while the larger ones like Sri Renuka, Bajaj, Hindustan opened up mildly in the green with gains of 0.5 to 1%, some of the smaller ones like Andhra Sugar, Mavana Sugar have gains of close to about 5%. So it's the mid-cap sugar names which have more traction. Apart from that, keep your eye out on Alpha Geo. It's up 4.5%. The company's won an order a little more than 100 crores, so that's kept the stock excited. Usha Martin has rallied 90% since the start of the month, and Usha Martin has gained another 10% on the losing side, you've got some weakness seen in Eicher Motors. Remember, CLSA today downgraded the stock to an underperform, saying that they don't see much upside in the stock. They've lowered the target price to 20,400 as well. They're saying that the stock has rallied nearly 27% in the last 3 months. So that downgrade is weighing on Eicher Motors. Stock is down close to about 1.5%. Sasken Communications, after the more than 35% rally in the last 2 days, has come in for some profit booking. Stock is down close to about 2%. And other than that, you've got some weakness seen in names like Mangalam Drug, Sonata Software, Cyan, Apollo Hospitals. These are few stocks. But other than that, it's a flat opening but with a negative bias for the markets. The Nifty is now gravitating towards that 74.50 mark, a cut of about 0.1%. Anuj, largely flat. How would you rate the opening trade?
Yeah, again, so HDFC is a problem for the market actually. It's now at 1100, and this is the zone really for HDFC. If you see, entire Nifty fall is because of HDFC. I mean, if you want to call it a fall, 5-point fall for the Nifty. And again, stocks are struggling around the 200-day moving average. So, there could be some move. As I said in the morning as well, as of now, the medium-term trend of the market is buy on dips, with the 7400, 7370, the 50-day moving average zone being the most important support mark. If you start to trade below that, then I think there's a problem. Otherwise, yesterday could have been a random move, and today the markets could move up. The Bank Nifty is still in the green. It was in the green yesterday as well, and it's in green today as well. So a couple of stocks problem really. HDFC. The bulls would be happy that ITC has bounced back at least today. Yesterday ITC fell from 200-day moving average. The 200-day moving average for ITC is 321. The stock is at 320. So it's the second attempt at 200-day moving average. This could well be the leadership stock if it goes past 200-day moving average.
I just want to point out two stocks. One of them is Alok Industries. There the banks had already converted the debt into equity. It is a huge 12,000 crore debt that they have, and it's been an NPA, or rather failing to pay its dues, and it got converted into over 51% held by the banks. We today have newspaper reports that there are a lot of bids for Alok Industries, the textile companies as well as private equity guys. that's keeping that stock now a penny stock, but it's keeping that company cheered just in case it goes into stronger hands. So watch out for Alok Industries. There might be some activity well in the near future, because banks are aggressively trying to sell off some of their assets and make a little bit of money at least. It's a huge debt that Alok Industries owes. As well, Ratan India, again not a stock we look at very often, but today it is up because it's won some solar project. But Ratan India is as defaulting as it can get. It was under severe stress and had interest outgo which was like 3-4 times its EBIT. So it's just won the power unit, and that's why it's rising. It's a penny stock again, but should be a little wary of all these stocks. They are in deep trouble, fundamentally speaking.
Well, in fact, even a couple of these power names like GMR, GVK, Lanco, which participated and won bids in the third round of reverse pool, gas pooling, which took place yesterday, have opened in the green. So Lanco Infratech is a gain of 4%.
The market has moved in the green, Rima. It's now 8 points higher, and let's pull out the contribution plate, because you get a sense that the leadership stock right now is ITC, and it's as we speak, it's right at the 200-day moving average. As you can see, 7-point move because of ITC. And that's the point I made just a while back. So keep an eye on that stock, and let's see if you recover even half of yesterday's gains today. I think the bull should be happy.
Even ICICI Bank, for that matter, it opened in the red. So from the day's low, I mean, it's not much. It's only first 10 minutes of trade. But ICICI Bank is back into the green, and ICICI Bank has rallied nearly 16 to 17%.
The bank Nifty itself that also opened in the red, and the index has moved into the green. So let's get our guests in to speak to us about the bank Nifty and any of the banks. Sudarshan, you go first. Bank of Baroda is leading the charts with a 2% uptick. Punjab National Bank is up about 1%. That's the other one. IndusInd Bank, Kotak Bank, all of them in the green. Yes Bank as well. In the red, SBI, but you will still persist with your buy on SBI.
Oh yes, I would. It's much easier trade, SBI and Axis Bank, and these are trades that you should really carry and continue. And for the bank Nifty, I would think that it's easier to focus on individual banks and not on the overall index, because the index doesn't give me the same comfort. But Kotak Bank as well as Yes Bank are buying opportunities for the day.
Not Bank of Baroda?
No, I'm avoiding PSU banks.
Okay. Ashwini, your take on banks first?
Come again?
Your take on banks, any of the individual banks that you want to play after market opening?
See, basically I have bought the bank Nifty at the early morning dip. What's happening on the Nifty is that it tried to break yesterday's low, but immediately reversed and started moving back up. Plus the bank Nifty started to show you a lot of green. So the odds are good that the Nifty gets back towards 7,500 before it starts to decline again. So the immediate next couple of hour move is probably on the upside. So basically ICICI Bank, State Bank and BOB are leading the charge, even Kotak. So that's where you try to go long, but this is still a market which is very range bound. So these are calls which could be just for the next couple of days.
Okay. Sudarshan, the key levels in Bajaj Auto, after slipping yesterday, it's down another 1.5% in early trade.
Yes, there are no levels. Bajaj Auto has been underperforming the market and underperforming its peers like Hero MotoCorp. So it's because it's a blue chip and this is a uptrending market, I wouldn't suggest going short in it. But please don't buy the dip. It's going lower.
Okay, Mayuresh, at these levels, anything that y'all are recommending to your investors?
Again, Lata, from the large caps, it's the typical names, large cap IT like Infosys, SCL Tech on declines is something we're liking. From the mid cap universe, a couple of stocks which are of interest to us at the current juncture. Mahindra Lifespaces is something that we're liking at this point of time. 5 million square feet of projects under execution out of 15 million that it is pursuing. The sales cycle is faster than the execution cycle. The execution cycle has been very, very robust compared to its peers. So clearly, I think on that front, you're talking about a faster generation in terms of revenue recognition. The inventory gets sold off much easier, which generates cash flows for the company. It is sitting on 12.3 million square feet of land bank across 4 cities. Is expected to launch 2.55 million square feet over the next few quarters, and it has already sold 55% of the current projects under execution. So clearly what we are expecting is a 19.5% kind of an OPM for mineralized spaces going forward, expecting the top line to grow 70% with faster revenue contribution and recognition coming through. And even on a valuation perspective, trades at 1.1 time on FIT numbers. Blue Star is the other stock that we're probably liking at this juncture. Market share is slowly inching up to that 11% kind of a mark. You're probably looking at the room air conditioning market share increasing 48% of its total top line. And we're talking of how the order execution has been and how the order wins are been. Our own take is that the EBITDA margin expansion should be quite reasonable over the next few quarters and should touch that 7.1% mark. Generates ROEs of close to 25%. The cash influx from Blue Star Infotech is also going to aid the cash flows for the company going forward as well. So I think these stocks is what you're lacking at the current juncture. But again, I think in a gradual manner over the next few weeks, in a slow and steady fashion, and again having a long-term view of more than 12 to 15 months.
Okay, by the way, Crompton Greaves has stabilized. So from levels of 43 thereabout that it closed yesterday, it's now up close to about 4.5. So 45-46 rupees on Crompton Greaves. And keep your eye out on Adani Enterprises. The company's core project has got the Queensland's Parliament's nod. So that is kept the stock up close to about 1.5%. But Mayuresh, yesterday Lupin tanked nearly 7% plus. It's not rebounded today. It's absolutely flat. You know, now that things have settled on Lupin, what would your advice be?
Well, largely, Rima, I think one really needs to understand how the observations are and how serious is the intent in terms of the good manufacturing practices that the company is probably adhering to. Having said that, the contribution plate that is expected to come from the OC, which is currently around $100 million, I think that is expected to inch up for Lupin going forward. The branded sales, which is around 10% of the total top line, is expected to grow to 30%. It's got a very strong A&DA pipeline. So again, I think the US markets itself give a huge opportunity. The Japanese market poses a huge opportunity with the kind of generic drugs going off patent to the tune of $14 to $15 billion over the next few years. So the company is probably having the right probably mix in terms of formulations going through over the next few quarters. And again, I think in terms of the Japanese market, it's always got the first mover advantage along with the domestic business, which has held up pretty well. I think the only issue here would be what kind of observations the Goa plant actually throws up. And again, I think valuations, even at the current juncture, in our opinion, will cause headwinds to the company going forward. So we are largely neutral at this point of time only.
All right. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, Mayuresh and Mr. Tulsian, for joining us. We'll request our technical experts to stay for a bit. But before that, here's what the Bullseye participants are picking today.
My 4 picks for